of A3 paper. So we've got one, we've got two. I'm going to use a pen for this. You can also use pencil and the object that we're drawing, which is this little markerlet. Okay, title block. So just going to add that in nice and simply. This is a preliminary sketch, so we still want to add in the appropriate details that would be there. So I'm adding in, remember, third angle projection symbol. That's what's required just there. Sizes, and in this and in all drawings, we're doing these in millimeters. And as best we can, we're trying to draw this 2 times original size, so 2:1 scale. This is just CDT. So I've got that information sketched on, like so. And then I have my starting baseline, where the middle of the page is. So I can then put the object that I'm trying to draw right in the centre. Remember we said this was going to be 2 times original size, so I can use that object to help me get twice the width. And also get twice the height, so I'll mark on one height, mark on second height. And there right away, I've got this now 2 times the original size. I can add in where the lid would actually go, again trying to get it, using the object to be twice the original size, and that would be it there. Lovely. So you see right away, I've actually got a lot of the object sketched. The next part's the details, which would be information for my plan and for my, just over here, excuse me. Like so, I've got my plan view coming in, again trying to get this double size, so 1 there, 2 there, that's me got my object. I can do the circles method. What you to be trying is that splitting up in order to get this really nice accurate circle. That circle that you remember we did there, points of information on just like so, and then drawing out our nice clean circle as we go, going like so. I mean, this is quite rough just now. These are very light lines that we're drawing, nothing crazy just now. For the middle section, for this bit here, I'm just going to project where it would come to. And remember what we said about creating our circles using the span of our hand, like so, in order to get that simple circle actually drawn out. And if need be, we can just use the edge of the guide to draw in our other little edge, because remember it's got 2 little circle sections here, so that's what we're looking to try to draw in just now. So I've got a 2:1 scale. I'm adding in the really light sketch construction lines for my my frame. Before I come to add in further detail, the useful thing we can be doing is using what's called a 45-degree bounce line. So from this corner, I'm drawing out a line that is 45 degrees. So just in here, 45 degrees, like so. Got my horizontal centre line and faint horizontal centre line coming down here. And what that means is now any information that I project and draw from the plan can hit that line and then come straight down. So effectively we've now drawn out parts of the parameters for our end elevation and our plan. So trying to use all the information that's given to us in order to project this out and to build this up. What I'm going to do just now is outline just that little bit heavier, the views that I have from object. These are just really light preliminary sketches, folks. Like so. Like this, I'm looking at the rest of the object, I'm seeing what we've got. We've got a nice solid heavy line around here. I've got this solid, much darker around here. I'm trying to add in as much detail as we would have. We're looking at this and we're seeing there's actually quite a few of these little ridges. So I'm just trying to add that technical detail in as much as is possible. I can be adding them on to the front here. I did count them earlier, there are 20 in total. So I can be adding on exactly where these actually stop and where these start, just like here. I'm trying to get as many as possible. I've got half this object, it's really going to be 10. So I've got 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just get 10 in. And I can add in that detail just really nice and lightly. Trying to get these good quality lines drawn across your work, like so. Let's get the rest of it drawn in here. I've got the spacing, quite basic. And I can start to add in, folks, that basic detail, okay? Like actually sketched out, and I've got the 2, 3, 4, and 5. Up here, so 1, 2, 3, 5. I've got that information. If you can try, what you could be thinking about is how to actually do a 3-dimensional cylinder of the object. If you did want to go for an extension, you notice I've got my cylinder drawn up here. The bottom is much larger as we're drawing it. If we're trying to draw this 2:1 scale, that's how I draw out my cylinder. This is just extension. You can give it a go, but this is how you draw out your simple preliminary sketches. I'll be adding in where the top part went. I'm putting that in. It's just a wee bit off, so I'm going to make it that little bit bigger. This comes down like so to just about here, folks. Okay. And I'll be adding that information in. So you're trying as best you can to do a good quality freehand preliminary sketch of your object. Lining it out, as you can see I've done. I'm just a wee bit off on some of those vertical lines, so I might tidy that up a little bit. Like so. I'm just going to clean this up just like this. And that would be parts of it drawn, okay? And we'll look at how you do other sections a little bit later. But this would be segments of it drawn. Like so. And lastly, you'd come to label each of your views, folks. So you'd make sure you had written in the elevation, you'd written in which view was the plan, you'd written in which view was your end elevation, okay? You're looking to have a go at, this is what's called your pictorial, and specifically it's an isometric. using basic pens and a pencil if need be. So it could be HB pencil and a pen, or it could be a pen and a marker, a thick felt pen. I'm using a marker, so I've got my black pen, and I'm going to start by just pressing heavily around the outline of the object, making sure that that's what I've got, that's what I'm wanting to, I'm really just lining what I'm supposed to see. As I turn my page, I'm not doing anything different than I would normally be doing. I'm adding in all this detail. So I've got 2 here, 3, 4, 8. It won't matter too much. It's just a quick preliminary sketch. Really, really simple going around the outline. You'll notice that I maybe haven't quite followed exactly where I did my initial light preliminary sketches, my light construction lines, whereas I'm just correcting that now. Darker, thicker colour, it could be thick pen, or if you've done it in pencil, it could be just a biro pen. So this and this, or this and this. This is what I'm going to use. And what I'll be doing now is just going around the outline of the object. Because what we're trying to determine is the light source. So if the light was coming in from the top left-hand side, all of these are little U-shaped ridges, like this. And if the light was coming in from up here, it would mean that anything that is on this side would be light, whereas anything that's on this side would be much, much darker. And so it's going to be the same on each of these. One side is going to be dark, and the other side is going to be light. So effectively, all I'm doing is just darkening in one of each of the lines, the one for the U-shape that's at the left-hand side, because that would be where the light is not actually hitting, darker. The other side would be that little bit lighter, so I'm going to use my lighter line, and just line that in again. And the last thing I'm going to add is this simple bit of render. What we've got is a cylindrical shape, like so. And so as the light comes around this object, it's coming around from both sides, so it's actually going to be, it goes darker, in order to give this impression of light, it goes darker round to light. So it starts off dark on the outside and comes around to light. Sections, just at this bit here, we just do darker, and then come around to light in the middle, around the outside here, darker, round to light in the middle. We can actually do that across this as well. I'll just go darker around here, round to light. And dark, and then just gradually get into that light section in the middle. And that would be our simple preliminary sketches for this marker pen lid. Hopefully it'll be helpful. Again, it's some sort of essential treat. I'm going to use a biro pen. I'm also going to use an HB pencil, and I'm probably going to use a thick black marker. These 3. So I'd be drawing that in just now, and it's a line that goes long, then short, short, then long, then short, short, long, short, short. Long, short, short, long. That's the style of the line. It has added onto it these small rectangles that are coloured, and they have these little arrows. This just indicates your cutting plane, and this indicates the direction of the cut. So just now we're looking at it from this side, so all of this half is the half that's going to be removed and taken away. And I've labelled them or lettered them, so this is A and A. And what I can start to do now is a quick sketch out for my section views. I'm really doing this far too close together, unfortunately, just because I've not really laid out my drawing particularly well. But herein is the basic outline for my section view. And what I want to have is I want to have the object that I'm trying to draw close by, so I can actually look at it and think to myself, what is this going to look like when it's been cut clean in two? Well, what I'm actually going to have, if I look at it, is I'm going to have this long column right here, and this long column just here for the central component. That's what's going to be there. I'm going to have this sort of diagonal ways line, and this little diagonal ways line, because that's where the top of the pen actually fits in. So we've got that section there, and then it's going to come round again to form this little shell, because effectively it's this kind of case that goes around the object. And each of these are going to have their own small thickness, so I'm just going to add that in just now. Add that in, this nice small thickness, like so. And like so, I think this component, yeah, it's completely hollow, absolutely. So this is simple sketch for the object. Got that down there and that down there. That effectively is a section view of this object. I'm just going to now add in what are known as the section lines. So any surface that's been cut through has these 45-degree lines added to it. So you look up at the board, there are these lines that go 45 degrees, like so, through the object, 45 degrees. They all go the same direction for one component. If you've got two components, they go in differing directions. And they are evenly spaced. So they're evenly spaced 4 to 5 millimeters or so apart. And all I'm going to do is on this surface add in these diagonal lines, and they all go the same way. So I've got this surface cut, it's going to come to this surface here, be cut as well, and cut through, and cut through, and cut through. That one there, and that one there, and that one there. So I will outline this, folks, for you to be able to see. Give me just a moment. That one there, that one there, that one there, and that one there. Let's get this nice and heavily penned in and outlined so you can see what this section view actually looks like. You really do need to be adding that bit more space between the views. I mean, I've got it quite crowded just now because I just didn't leave quite enough space. That's my mistake. I'll know for future, and you'll know for future because I've done it wrong. This is what the object looks like when it's been cut clean in two. So just imagine what it looks like when it's been sliced clean in two, and then it's got these diagonal lines running through it on the cut surface. How you go about drawing this is if it was a pictorial view, i.e. a three-dimensional view that had been cut in half. So all I'm going to do is draw out my cylinders, so like so. So now that I've got that little bit drawn out, I would just choose where my halfway point is and just be quite consistent with my lines going across this. So this is going to be the border around the outside. just for the sake of consistency, is I can draw this in just that little bit heavier so that it's easier for me to see, easier for you to see, and easier to plan out. And now what I'm going to do, just add in this little back section. Go back to my section view, I can use that to help me. So I'm actually drawn in everything that I need for the majority of the internal components. I'm going to add this one in round here. It's a cylinder here, so I'm going to add this one in round here. And we've also got the cylindrical edge of this part here. So I've actually got the majority of what we need, and now what I do is I start to outline this. And this is what's known as, in any of your work, and this is all your technical detail, okay? I'm now going to add in the diagonal lines where we go, remember, trying to be consistent so they actually run all the way through the view and they are evenly spaced on any cut surface. Last thing I'm going to add in is this little bit of renders, a little bit of tone, in order to give the impression that this object is, in actual fact, three-dimensional. What I'd add in for those finishing touches is I'd add in these red lines just to show what actually had been taken away. So not in any way essential. And I just finally label that. This is my pictorial section. So I'm just going to write that in up here. Pictorial section.